now, let's head right back over to Aviwe Mtila, who's been taking a look again, Aviwe, at what's been coming out of the state capture report. Very hefty, not exactly light bedtime reading, I suppose, as well, but there is a lot to get through. So tell us again what you're focusing on at the moment, because I know the Guptas, state capture through TNA media, and also it was SARS. But I think let's start with TNA, shall we?
Yes, let's start over there, and it describes the report itself, saying that TNA media is the example of exactly how state capture operated. In fact, it talks to the unjustified public spending when it comes to state-owned entities such as Eskom, Transnet, as well as the South African Airways, with dealings with TNA media, the Gupta-owned company. Basically, you do understand that they owned the New Age media, the New Age newspaper, I beg your pardon, as well as, you remember those business breakfasts, the New Age business breakfasts that happened at the state South African Broadcasting Corporation, the SABC. Basically, public funds were channeled through the state-owned entities when it came to advertising of that Gupta-owned company, as well as the funding of that New Age business breakfast that happened at the SABC. Now, it looks at how even people that didn't want to cooperate with the Guptas at that time were basically pushed away, in the sense of the then CEO of the GCIS, Themba Maseko, was basically fired. Even phone calls that were had with the former President Jacob Zuma, just saying that here are these Gupta boys, before that actual firing incident happened, when he then refused to follow suit in terms of meeting up with the Guptas and following what they'd wanted, specifying that they wanted the 600 million rand annual budget of GCIS to be channeled to the TNA media company. And after his refusal, a month or two later, he was fired at the end of January, replaced with Mzwanele Manyi, who we do know has been termed the facilitator. In fact, I want to actually read some of what was in the report in terms of painting out the irregularities that happened over there. It goes on to state, Gareth, that the PFMA clearly and definitively made every one of the TNA contracts unlawful. State capture thrived because the people given power and authority in the SOEs simply flouted the terms, basically. So it really details the rot that's been ongoing, especially when it comes to these state-owned entities, South African Broadcasting Corporation, as well as the TNA media company. Let's take a listen to what the leader of the UDM, Bantu Olomisa, just had to say at the backdrop of this report.
I should commend him for saying that, because there have been a lot of doubts about the report being handed over to the members of the executive in the first instance, because they are the people who facilitated for the advertisements, for instance, of using SABC to generate revenue for the Guptas, and SABC was not getting anything. And we queried this thing, if you can Google, we queried when it was happening. But typical, we were dismissed. Nobody take care. I'm interested as to what are they saying in that, whether what we were saying at the time when this thing was happening, have we been vindicated in our positions? UTM have been saying, why do you use SABC to generate revenue for the Guptas? And SABC is not getting any cent, and they are using the money from Eskom, Prasa, Transnet. You saw the advertisement on the screen at the background.
One other thing you're looking at, Aviwe, is the implication of SARS, but also Tom Moyane specifically. Let me just read part of this. It shows that SARS under Tom Moyane, the former SARS commissioner, was a clear example of state capture. So deliberately coming out and making it very clear on Tom Moyane's role in this. Heidi Jokos, who we'll speak to in a moment, I like the way she phrased this earlier, saying you could hear in parts of when we were watching the live proceedings, you could hear the tone of frustration and anger from the Justice himself coming through in the report, and that's clearly what we're seeing here.
Certainly, South African Revenue Services itself was not spared from state capture. It was clear in the report, in fact, stating that the private sector colluded with the executives from SARS, as well as the former President Jacob Zuma, in weakening SARS and basically rendering it ineffective. I want to read some of those extracts again, saying that it was deliberately weakened through the restructure, strategical appointments, dismissal of key staff, and bullying. We do understand Tom Moyane's appointment also raises eyebrows when it comes to how he was appointed, because former President Jacob Zuma announced his appointment way before he was actually appointed. And companies such as Bain & Co., the consultancy company, was also called in by Tom Moyane, and the former president had meetings way before they officially signed the contract and the tender itself was out. So it was quite clear, even before they received the contract, that they the ones that would be receiving the tender. When it comes to Tom Moyane, the report itself suggests that he should be formally charged with perjury because of lying to Parliament. Some of the rot that was unearthed at the report, as we still sift through it, you'd understand it's over 800 pages, so we still got some time. My colleague and I, Heidi Jockers, just painting out what was really happening in that corruption.
And it's not just 800 pages of Aviwe, as I say thank you to you. It's also detailed. We've all got the report. I'm also trying to read through it as well. I'm trying to find all the small words in this that make sense to someone like me as well. But there's a lot more to go through. Aviwe Mtila, for the moment, senior reporter, thank you very much.